Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive?
Let's do it.
All right, so today we're digging into OpenAI's latest and greatest, and I gotta say, this one's a biggie.
Yeah, no kidding.
They just dropped their brand new model, O1 AND, a whole new subscription tier called ChatGPT Pro.
Yep.
We're working from a blog post that summarizes their video announcement, and let me tell you, it's packed with info.
Uh-huh.
But one thing that really jumped out at me was the whole multimodal input thing.
Right.
Like, imagine AI that can work with both text and images. That's O1.
Exactly.
Plus, they're claiming it's way more reliable than any of their previous models.
Yeah, it's not just like they slapped a new coat of paint on an old model.
Right?
They basically rebuilt it from the ground up. This time, they really took all that user feedback to heart.
Oh, that's it.
Like, people were clamoring for a model that was faster, smarter, and could handle, well, more types of input.
That's what they mean by multimodal.
Exactly, multimodal input. Basically, it means O1 can process both text and images.
Okay, I gotta admit, multimodal always sounds a bit like, tech jargon to me.
Sure.
What does that actually look like in the real world?
Okay, picture this. You're trying to fix some, I don't know, some complicated piece of equipment.
Okay, yeah.
And instead of just like typing out the problem to the AI, you can actually show it a picture of the broken part.
Ah, I see.
O1 can then take that visual information, combine it with everything it already knows, and give you like super accurate and helpful advice.
So it's like giving the AI an extra set of eyes.
Yeah, pretty much. It's all about giving the AI a more complete picture of the situation.
Makes sense.
And I think they're really targeting this O1 model towards learners, specifically, scientists, engineers, coders.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, people who need that extra level of detail and accuracy.
Okay, that makes sense. So where does ChatGPT Pro fit into all of this?
Okay, so ChatGPT Pro,
Yeah.
it's basically a new subscription tier for the power users who need more, It's a bit pricey, though, I gotta say, $200 a month.
Yeah, I saw that. Whoa.
But what you get for that is unlimited access to all the latest models, including something called O1 Pro mode.
Pro mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's designed for like even more complex tasks, and it's supposed to be even more reliable.
Okay, reliability is huge E, especially if you're using AI for like actual important stuff.
Oh, for sure.
But what exactly makes this O1 Pro mode more reliable than just the regular O1?
Well, one of the big differences is that Pro mode has access to way more computing power. So it can process information more deeply,
Yeah.
consider way more angles before it actually spits out an answer.
So it's like having a whole team of experts working on your problem behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
That's cool.
It's like the supercharged version of O1, basically.
Mm.
Way lower chance of errors.
Okay, impressive. But hold on, you said earlier that O1 is faster than their previous models, right? So how does all this extra thinking time in Pro mode affect the speed?
That's a great question. They actually address that directly.
Oh, good.
They designed O1 to be incredibly efficient. So for those simple, straightforward questions, you're going to get an answer really quickly.
Okay.
But when it comes to those more complex tasks, especially in Pro mode, it's going to take its time.
Ah, I see.
Analyze everything thoroughly, even if that means waiting a little longer for a response.
So it's like a balance between speed and accuracy.
Exactly. It's all about using the right tool for the job.
Makes sense. Now, I'm really curious about this whole thinking thing that they keep mentioning.
Yeah.
Like they're saying O1 actually thinks
Yeah.
before it responds. That sounds almost human.
It's definitely a step beyond how most AI models have worked in the past.
Right.
It's not just reacting to what you input.
Yeah.
It's actually taking a moment to process the information, to consider different perspectives, come up with a more thoughtful response.
So I'm trying to picture this. Is it like actually weighing options, making decisions like our brains do?
Well, it's not exactly a human brain, but it's definitely getting closer to that level of sophistication.
Okay, that's wild.
It's a multi-step process. First, it takes in your input, text, images, whatever you give it.
Right.
Then it uses its massive knowledge base to understand the context of your request.
So it's like reading and analyzing the information first.
Exactly.
What happens next?
And here's where it gets really interesting. O1 starts to make connections between different pieces of information.
Okay.
It draws on its understanding of language, logic, even common sense.
Wow.
It's almost like it's building a mental model of the problem you've given it.
So it's not just retrieving info, it's understanding the relationships between different concepts.
Exactly.
That's pretty remarkable.
And that's what lets it generate those really nuanced and insightful responses. It's not just repeating what it's been trained on, it's actually reasoning, making inferences based on what it knows.
So it's almost like having a conversation with like a really smart colleague who can see connections you might have missed.
That's a great way to put it. It's like a thought partner.
That's pretty incredible.
Someone to help you explore ideas and come up with new solutions.
Okay, that's exciting, but I gotta be honest, it's also a little intimidating.
Yeah.
If AI is getting this smart, where does that leave us, humans?
Well, that's a big question. And it's one we're definitely going to need to keep exploring as AI continues to evolve.
For sure.
But for now, let's focus on the positive side, you know?
Yeah, good point.
O1 and ChatGPT Pro, they represent a huge leap forward in what AI can do.
Definitely.
And they have the potential to completely change the way we learn, work, even how we interact with the world around us.
You're right. It's important to approach these advancements with a sense of, like, optimism and curiosity.
Absolutely.
Speaking of curiosity, you mentioned real-world applications earlier.
Oh,
I'm dying to hear how people are actually using O1 to solve real problems.
well, one example that OpenAI highlighted was the design of a data center in space.
Wait, hold on. A data center in space?
Yeah.
That sounds like something straight out of science fiction.
It does, right?
Seriously?
But it's a real problem that engineers are facing,
Wow.
especially as we become even more reliant on data.
Okay, I have to hear more about this.
Yeah.
How did they actually use O1 to design a data center in space?
Well, they started by feeding O1 a massive amount of data about space environments.
Okay.
You know, data center design principles, all the specific needs for this project.
So it's like they gave O1 a crash course in space architecture and data center engineering.
Exactly. They wanted to make sure it had a deep understanding of all the factors involved.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So once O1 had all that information, what did it do? Did it, like, spit out a blueprint?
Not quite that simple. It's more of an iterative process.
Okay.
They would present O1 with different challenges and questions, prompt it to analyze different aspects of the design, find problems, suggest solutions.
So it was more like a brainstorming session with a super intelligent design consultant.
Exactly. They were using it to explore different possibilities, test things out, refine the design over time.
That's amazing. But how do you even evaluate a design for something like a data center in space?
Oh, there's a ton of things to consider.
I bet.
Things like radiation shielding, how to manage the temperature, power generation, even the effects of microgravity on the equipment.
Yeah, I can only imagine. So how did O1 handle all that complexity? Does it come up with anything groundbreaking?
It did. Actually, O1 was able to find a bunch of potential design flaws that the engineers had missed.
No way.
Yeah. It also suggested some completely new approaches to things like radiation shielding and thermal management,
Wow.
things that could make the data center way more efficient and reliable.
That's incredible. So it sounds like O1 is not just about, like, crunching numbers and generating reports.
Yeah.
It's like a creative partner,
Totally.
helping us push the boundaries of what's possible.
And that's what's so exciting about this technology.
I know, right?
It's not just about automating stuff. It's about, like, boosting our own human capabilities.
Yeah.
Helping us achieve things we never thought possible.
Well, my mind is officially blown. This space data center thing is just wild.
I know, right?
It really shows the potential of O1 to tackle these massive, complex challenges that we're facing.
Absolutely. And that was just one example. They showcased a bunch of other use cases, from scientific research to medical diagnostics to creative writing.
Wow, so it's not just for techies and engineers then.
Not at all. It seems like O1 has applications across a huge range of fields.
This is all so fascinating, but I gotta admit, I am starting to feel a little overwhelmed.
Understandable.
It's a lot to take in.
It is a lot, especially considering how fast AI is developing right now.
Yeah.
But that's what we're here for, to help break it all down.
Well, you're definitely doing a great job of that. I feel like I'm starting to get a grasp on O1 and ChatGPT Pro, but I'm still curious about those upcoming features they mentioned, like web browsing, file uploads, and enhanced API functionalities.
Yeah.
What do those mean for the average person?
Those are some really exciting developments with the potential to, like, really expand what O1 and ChatGPT Pro can do. Like, imagine asking O1 to, I don't know, research something for you by browsing the web, instead of you spending, like, hours sifting through search results yourself.
Right.
You could have O1 do all the hard work and then give you, like, a nice summary of what it finds.
That would be amazing for research.
Oh, totally.
What about file uploads? How would that work?
Okay, so instead of just like copying and pasting text into O1,
Yeah.
you could actually upload entire documents, spreadsheets, even presentations.
Oh.
And O1 could then analyze all that info, pull out the key insights, and maybe even like help you write reports or create new content based on what it learns.
So it'd be like having a research assistant who can go through mountains of data
Yeah, exactly.
and pull out the most important stuff.
Save you a ton of time and effort, especially if you're dealing with those huge, complicated data sets.
That's awesome. And what about those enhanced API functionalities? That sounds pretty technical.
Yeah, it is a bit technical.
Okay.
Basically, it means that developers are going to have way more options for integrating O1 into their own apps and services.
Mhm.
So think like a whole new wave of AI-powered tools and experiences that we haven't even thought of yet.
So things like AI-powered chatbots that actually understand what you're saying
Yeah, definitely.
and respond like a real person.
Totally.
Or like AI writing tools that can help you create amazing content super fast.
Exactly. The possibilities are like endless.
I know, this is incredible, but I also got to admit, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. Like, AI is developing so quickly.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's hard to keep up.
The pace of development is crazy right now.
Seriously.
But that's why it's so important to have these discussions,
Yeah.
to like break down these complex topics
Yeah.
and really think about how these technologies are going to impact our lives.
Oh, you're doing a fantastic job of that. I feel like I'm finally wrapping my head around O1 and ChatGPT Pro.
Good to hear.
But now I'm starting to think about the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Where does all this lead?
Right.
What does it mean for, like, the future of work, for education,
Right.
for society as a whole?
Those are the big questions we need to be asking ourselves
For sure.
as we move into this new AI era.
Definitely.
And there's no easy answers. It's going to require a lot of thought, open dialogue, and a willingness to adapt.
It's funny. We talk about all this progress, all this amazing stuff that AI can do.
Yeah.
And it's easy to get caught up in the excitement,
Right.
But sometimes I have to step back and remind myself, this isn't science fiction. This is real.
It is real. It's happening right now.
We're living in a time where AI is becoming more and more a part of our everyday lives.
Yeah, it's a huge shift.
Yep.
And it's happening incredibly fast.
Totally.
It's like we're watching a tech revolution unfold in real time.
Exactly. And like any revolution, there are going to be challenges along the way.
Totally. And I think that's where the learner mindset becomes so important, right?
For sure.
We can't just sit back and watch this technology happen. We have to be actively engaged.
Right.
We have to understand its potential and be ready to adapt to the changes it brings.
Totally agree. It's all about embracing that lifelong learning approach, always looking for new knowledge and skills, and being willing to evolve.
I think it's also important to remember that AI is a tool.
Definitely.
A really powerful tool, but still just a tool.
Yeah.
It's up to us humans to decide how we use it,
Right.
what values we put into it, what kind of future we create with it.
That's a really important point. The development of AI has to be guided by human values,
Totally.
by a commitment to making society better. It's not about replacing humans. It's about making us better at what we do,
I love that. Making us better.
creating a future that's more fair and sustainable for everyone. Well said.
Yeah.
I think that's a great place to wrap things up.
Yeah.
We've talked about the incredible things O1 and ChatGPT Pro can do.
Uh-huh.
We've discussed the potential challenges and opportunities that come with this level of AI, and we've emphasized how important it is to approach this new era thoughtfully and responsibly.
Yeah.
This has been a really insightful deep dive.
It has. And to our listeners, we encourage you to keep exploring the world of AI.
Yeah.
Keep asking those tough questions. Keep engaging in these important conversations about the future we're all building together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and keep diving deep.
Keep diving deep.
We've been talking a lot about the good stuff.
Right.
All the amazing potential of O1 and ChatGPT Pro. But, it's only fair to acknowledge the potential downsides, too.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, no technology is perfect. Right?
Exactly.
And AI definitely has its own set of challenges. One of the big ones that always comes up is the impact on jobs.
Right, because as AI gets better at doing things that humans used to do, some people are worried about losing their jobs.
Yeah, it's a legitimate concern. And something we need to be really careful about as we start using AI more and more in different industries.
For sure.
But it goes beyond just jobs, There's also the whole issue of ethics and responsibility. Like, how do we make sure that AI is used for good?
Right.
For example, how do we prevent bias from sneaking into those AI algorithms, especially when they're being used to make decisions that affect people's lives?
That's a really important point. We've already seen examples of AI bias in other areas, and it's definitely something we need to watch out for as AI becomes more powerful.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and then there's the whole data privacy thing.
Oh, yeah, that's huge.
AI systems need tons of data to work, and we need to make absolutely sure that data is collected and used responsibly.
Absolutely. Respecting people's privacy is crucial.
It really is. So it seems like there's still a lot of work to do
Oh, yeah.
in terms of like developing guidelines and safeguards for AI.
Yeah, it's an ongoing process, and it needs to involve a lot of different people, from the folks developing the tech to policymakers to, like, ethicists.
It's not just about building smarter AI, it's about building AI that's aligned with our values.
Exactly. AI that actually benefits humanity.
And that's where education and critical thinking come in.
Right.
We need to give people the tools to really understand AI, to assess the potential benefits and risks, and to have a say in how it's developed and used.
Couldn't agree more. AI literacy is going to be essential for everyone in the coming years, no matter what you do or where you come from.
Yeah, it's like we're entering a new era of tech literacy, where understanding AI is as basic as knowing how to use a computer.
Exactly. And just like with any new technology, there's going to be a learning curve.
Oh, absolutely.
There'll be bumps in the road, and we'll need to be flexible and adapt as we go.
But even with those challenges, I think it's important to be optimistic.
Oh, definitely.
AI has the potential to change so many things for the better.
Hmm.
Healthcare, education, transportation, you name it. It's up to us to make sure we use its power for good.
Well said. And I think OpenAI's commitment to getting feedback from users and the community is a really positive step in that direction.
Yeah, I agree.
By involving a lot of different voices in the process, we can help ensure that AI reflects our shared values and goals.
It's about creating a future where AI makes us stronger, not weaker.
Right.
A future where we can use it to solve the world's biggest problems and create a better, more equitable society.
That's definitely something worth fighting for. And I think by working together, by being open to new ideas and collaborating, we can make that future a reality.
I think we've covered a lot of ground today. We've explored O1 and ChatGPT Pro. We've discussed the challenges and opportunities of this new wave of AI. And most importantly, we've highlighted the need to approach all of this thoughtfully and responsibly.
It's been quite the deep dive.
It really has. And to all of you listening, stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, stay engaged in the conversation about AI. The future is happening right now, and your voice matters. Until next time, keep diving deep.